Going on, people? Welcome to October. Welcome to week 7. Happy Monday. So this is your homework support for EL 1.2, and it's point 2 because we are now in our second unit. I'm looking at dystopian novels. Today's lesson was primarily about how do we use evidence to support the purpose of dystopian novels. And today we talked about two ways. Either one, dystopian novels being meant to help show issues in society or to help kind of shed light on issues with humanity. And from the reading tonight, from pages 6 to 11 in the Giver, I want students to find one piece of evidence to definitely support issues of humanity or issues of society. Something that says, yes, this novel definitely falls or fits under dystopian novels. Okay? So this is what they should have with them. So this was the model, the CFP that we use. I told them that this is the setup. If they do Google Classroom, there's organizer already created for them. They just got to type in. Otherwise, if they're doing a separate sheet, I said they don't have to do the organizer. They can simply just number it off. I know some people like to just make the boxes all over the paper, and that's fine. So I'm actually going to do it that way. I'm going to just make the boxes how I've seen other students do it, and we're going to do it like that. I'm going to model with one of the very first pages that we read today and just pull an example from there and how this would look. All right? So in the Giver, I'm going to start with page 1. And one thing that we noticed in page 1 is that there's a rule. There's a rule that pilots cannot fly over the community. And so when I brought that up with students, one thing that we took away is like, yes, this seems like an issue with society. Now, when we talk about society versus humanity, the notes for us tell us a few things, okay? Now, one thing in our notes, they tell us that humanity means anything that's a natural or some right that we have from birth that allows us to be who we are. And so that can mean us being able to make choices, to think freely, to do what we please, to love who we want to love, so on and so forth. So that's humanity. When we think about society, we're saying what are the things that pretty much dictate how people live their lives, the ways in which people are governed, and also the ways in which people have to interact with one another. And so those are the things. And so depending on what you choose, if you choose humanity, you're saying, I have evidence to show that this character isn't allowed to be who they are. Something about a right that they should be given, that they are born with, is being taken from them. If you're saying society, you're saying, I'm noticing that in this world, or wherever this person lives, they have to act a certain way because of rules, they have to live a certain way because of rules, or they just have to be. They have to just be present in a particular way because of how things are governed, because of rules or laws. All right? So with the Giver again, in chapter 1, on that first page, first thing that I brought out to students that we notice is that there are rules about pilots fighting against the community. And I always say, think about what can you do in your world today that seems odd that's happening with them. And so we talk about how we see planes all the time. All right? But for some reason here, you can't see planes. And the fact that he saw a plane, the main character kept coming up saying that he's frightened. That he's frightened about seeing this plane. All right? So first, we're going to think about our 5 W's. So who, where, when, why. The how is going to be a little different, and then we have our dystopian connection. So as I said, I'm going to do it like I seen the student do it. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to put how I would rather see their papers, so like where their name and everything should go. So I'd rather they put their name in the upper corner, if they're going to do this, in their cohort. And then this is EL 1.2 homework practice. All right. So we have that much going on. Turn this light on a little bit. Sorry. Bring this down. So let's get my who out. So my main character is Jonas. So I'm going to go ahead and put Jonas there, where they're in some community. And that's all we know. So they're in a community. We could add something extra to that, but all we know in the book is that they're in a community. So now, the what. Now when we ask what, we want to know two things. We don't want to know two things. We want to ask ourselves two things to think about. Is what the main character going through showing something that they can or cannot experience? Or is the evidence I'm pulling showing the main character or someone close to the main character being emotionally triggered? Meaning that they are impacted to act a certain way out of care and love or consideration for someone else. All right? Now, this plane, this rule about the plane found in the community that's scaring Jonas, it doesn't seem like he's emotionally triggered, like he's not doing anything because of this. But I can say that because of this plane, I do know that it's something he can experience. He's not supposed to experience planes flying over the community. It's against the rules. So one thing that I noticed that what is the main character is unable to experience. I'll say experience an event. Okay? And the why, as I just said, is because in the text, Jonas is scared because a plane flew over the community and he's never seen a plane because rules say pilots are not supposed to fly over the community. So in the text, and I paraphrase that, so in the text, it states that the main character is frightened about seeing a plane fly over the community because it's against the rules for pilots to do this. Let me bring that up so they probably can't see that too much, and I'm left-handed. So I'm trying to make sure y'all can see. Okay? And so now I got my how. Now the how is, and this is what I'm saying, if I'm saying the text evidence is showing that the main character can experience an event, what is that? How am I actually doing that? So for the how, I can do a few things. So I think I'm going to roll with the idea of that because the main character, so because the main character cannot see planes fly in his community, it shows an experience he can't have compared to what people can do today. So that can be one way of saying this. So the fact that So because the main character cannot see planes fly in his community, it shows an experience he can't have compared to what people can do today. And that can be a nice, simple, I'm going to circle these, a simple way of saying. Now, the last part is your dystopian connection. So at this point, ask yourself, okay, is this an issue with society or is this an issue with humanity? And I just said, as a class, we thought like this was an issue with society. And it has everything to do with laws, everything to do with how this society is run. And so with that, this shows an issue with society because the community is controlling how planes move, comma, and what people can see. And I want to make sure I'm using the definition, so the fact that I said the community is controlling, that lets me know I'm talking about how people are governed. And if I want to be clear, I can actually say that this is an example of how people are governed. Simple as that. And so their homework assignment should look like this. It can be this whole page written out in the same format that I have here. Or they can just number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm leaving it up to them, but this is what I want to see. So hopefully this helps. And good luck tonight. And this is due tomorrow.